Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Black Hills Connection podcast. And today, our special guest is Verne Goodsell, who is an attorney here in Rapid City. Now, Verne, we go back a few years because we've done this story with you for many years, which we're going to get to. But first, I want you to just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have to go back a few years then. So we started practicing here in the late 70s and practiced law in Rapid City ever since.
Okay.
And primarily we do litigation.
Okay.
And we handle fairly large cases, bad faith cases, and a lot of catastrophic injuries, and we do med mal. So those are the cases that we handle.
And what's your business called?
It's Goodsell Oviatt.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And we go by the go-to lawyers, so if you need something, call us, we'll take care of you. If we can't, we'll find somebody who can do it.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, you've been practicing law for many years then.
So, yeah, I keep practicing.
Yeah, you do. You're still out there doing the thing.
Yeah.
So good for you. And you have a lovely wife, Karen,
yes,
who I've met many times. And you guys enjoy traveling.
Yeah, particularly Karen. She drags me around the world, mostly to France, but other places too.
Yeah, she loves France. And that's kind of where this story derives from. You all visited there.
Correct.
And came upon this like wine experience. So tell us about this.
Well, we traveled and found out about the Beaujolais back in the 80s and 90s. And then originally we had it basically just as a kind of a staff party.
Okay.
And then eventually we expanded it so we invite our clients and friends to come in. And we always celebrate then on the Friday after the third Thursday in November. Now, the reason why that's important is that the wine can't be released until the third Thursday of November.
Right.
And that's the release date on it.
Right. So it's Beaujolais.
Beaujolais.
It took me forever to learn that term, but that's how you pronounce it. And basically, what is it? Because you kind of mentioned it there, but sort of take us back to like France and like the origination of this.
Okay. If you go back to France, the Beaujolais area would be like Pennington County, for example. And Pennington County had a lot of wine in it, and it would be the Pennington County wine.
Okay.
So it's the Beaujolais wine, and that's an area.
Okay.
And it has a specific grape. Now, most people don't understand the various grapes. There's about 12 grapes that they make wine out of.
Okay.
And most common is going to be Cabernet and Chardonnay and Pinot Blanc, this type of thing. But the Beaujolais is a 100% Gamay grape. And it's a red grape, and it grows very well in the Beaujolais area. And it's kind of a blue-collar wine. From the standpoint, it's the first wine. The wine comes out on the third Thursday of November, and the grapes were picked in mid or late August.
Okay.
So it's what they call a new wine.
Okay.
And a new wine basically doesn't have as much structure as older wines do. And when I talk about structure, people don't understand what it means. This year, the 25 Beaujolais has more structure.
Okay.
Now, it's hard to understand when wine people talk about structure, what it really means.
Yeah.
So if you put something in your mouth, like a sugar cube,
Yeah.
and you put that in your mouth, if it melts really quick, that doesn't have much structure.
Right. Okay.
But if you put the same cube in that's maybe been put in the oven or something or crystallized, and it melts a little bit slower, the structure breaks down slower.
Okay.
And the structure is what gives it longevity or expansion in the mouth. And so we talk about if it doesn't have structure, it's kind of soft, and you can kind of just garf it down really quick. And if it has structure, it just takes a little more time because all those layers. I tell people wine is like plywood.
Oh.
So if you look at those different layers, then if you think of it in terms of the sugar cube and you put it in your mouth, is that if it melts really quick, it doesn't have a lot of structure.
Right.
And that's a feeling.
Oh, okay.
And so that's just what people talk about. This year there's supposed to be more structure
Okay.
in the 25 Beaujolais.
Okay.
And the reason why you get more structure sometimes is basically weather. If the weather is harsh, because grapes need to have harsh weather. And so if you get enough moisture for it survives, and yet a period of time where it's dry, that will accumulate then more flavor in the grape.
Okay.
And the more flavor you have, which comes out of the skins primarily, gives it more structure.
Okay, so they had a harsher winter?
Not winter, just a growing season.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And it was coupled this year by having just enough moisture to keep things going, and then some dry spells. Then what happens with fruit, if it doesn't have some degree of harshness in the environment, and everything is really good, it just expands and gets bigger and bigger, and it loses its flavor.
Oh, Oh,
So
okay.
if you have, same way, and I always use peaches as an example.
Okay.
Some years they're really good, and some years they aren't good.
Right.
And grapes are the same way.
Oh.
And lots of times it's the growing season and how it's stressed that creates that. And if it's too good and it's too easy, the fruit doesn't have flavor.
Interesting. Wow. A lot of
So-
sort of like, not science, but ag, like a lot of stuff behind that.
There's a lot behind it in terms of how the growers do it and they put
Right.
it together.
Yeah.
One thing about the Beaujolais, though, it's very simple. It's not complex. It's not put into oak. It's just simply picked, processed, fermented, and bottled.
Right there.
Yep, right
in
there.
that region.
Yep.
And don't they have like a huge celebration down there?
Yes, and this goes clear back to ancient times where, and I'm going clear back to the Roman Empire in France, and that's how long these grapes have been there.
Wow.
So they've been there for, almost 2,000 years.
Yeah.
But it was always kind of small, and then during medieval times is that the church or the bishops or the cardinals would have various monasteries, and then they would be the ones that would be the caretakers of the vineyards during this period of time because it wasn't really commercialized.
Okay.
Now, if you kind of start when the Catholic control begins to break down in Europe and we have Protestants coming in, then all of a sudden we get more expansion of small farms where they're actually doing this for kind of a cash crop.
Oh, okay.
And then as they went through this, they would do it for a cash crop because you could turn it really quick.
Uh-huh.
And so if you have to hold your wine for 3 years or 2 years
Yeah.
before you release it, you got a lot of cost and you got a delay.
Right.
So with the new wines is that you can pick them in August, you start growing it back in the spring, and then you can have it bottled and sold by November on the third Thursday.
Okay. And now, is there a correlation with like a Thanksgiving and the release date of the wine?
No, because there's no
There's no
Thanksgiving in
Thanksgiving
Europe,
over there. Okay.
or Great Britain or Japan, and those
Okay.
are in the United States, and those are the big consumers of the Nouveau Beaujolais.
Oh, gosh.
So, but it is a fall festival.
Okay.
And it represents, the fact we've had a good year and a good harvest, and now we picked the wine or picked the grapes and we made it into wine, and so we got a good stock of beef and everything else we need to have for the winter.
Gotcha. So, but for us in the States, it's like, but now we can purchase the wine for our Thanksgiving if we want. 'Cause
That's right.
You said it typically pairs well.
It pairs very well. It goes really good with turkey because it's always, and the thing about Beaujolais, it has a tremendous bouquet to it. So if you have and pour Beaujolais and then pour, any other red wine and compare them, is that you will not forget the Beaujolais. Sometimes it's easy to forget what kind of bouquet a wine has.
Yeah.
But with Beaujolais, it's unique, and so it's that young fruit, and not too much structure, so it doesn't overpower the turkey, and it will go well with the turkey, the dressing, sweet potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it's just so interesting, like just the history of it all, really. I mean, is that what sort of captivated you about it? Because I know you enjoy it.
Well, I'm a historian because I taught college before I went to law school.
did?
So,
Okay.
but the history is very unique from the standpoint of European wine and particularly French wines in terms of where they came from. And the new wines would always come out really early, and there's just all kinds of small producers back in ancient times as well as today that do this. So it kind of got chaotic. And then they would be rushing these wines into Paris to get the cash and get it there. And eventually it got so chaotic that they had to set some limits. So after World War II, France passed a regulation that you couldn't release any wine until December 15.
Oh.
But Beaujolais got an exception. They could release their wine in November on the third Thursday.
Oh, okay.
So it became, in this little window, it became the exclusive new wine.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So now the rush is by the producers to get it into Paris. And it's become basically a holiday.
Yeah, and then they just ship it out over here.
Yep, they ship it out over here.
Yep.
And the shipments will probably be coming in next week, the first part of it.
Okay.
And we'll probably at our office get our first shipment probably on Wednesday or Thursday. But you can't open it until Thursday.
You can't.
You
It's
can't.
against the rules.
It's against the rules. And I think
cultural rules.
everybody sticks with that, at least in terms of parties and this type of thing.
Yeah, you got to respect the rules,
Right.
right? And what else is interesting, these are a couple bottles from a couple years past, but there's also like this label stuff that happens.
Yeah.
Tell us about the label.
Well, George DeBoeuf is the one that created the label, and he's the one that saw this window that he could take, and so he pedaled his bicycle around Beaujolais in terms of getting everybody collectively to start marketing this, and he
Okay.
basically saw this window, marketed it first in Paris, and then expanded worldwide. And so always he's had an unusual label. Now, if you look at most labels, is that they're pretty much, you got the coat of arms, or you got some type of logo on there, and they kind of look like, traditional some way. But these change every year, and they're always different. This one is
this
the
one's
23.
one of my favorites. And then you also would always wear the tie. They made like a
Right.
tie with it too. So that's kind of an interesting other piece of it.
Yep.
Right?
And this is a contest that they have, is that they'll have a contest, people can enter it, and then out of the contest, out of the contest, they select the label then that they want to use, and
Gotcha.
then that's the winner.
That's awesome. It's so much fun. Is there anything else you want to tell us about the Beaujolais? And it's like Beaujolais Nouveau?
Nouveau.
Nouveau. And
Yeah.
that means new, right?
Yep. That means, and it's first wine, new wine. Sometimes it's called premier wine. And it's also going to be referred to as Beaujolais Nouveau Arrivé. Arrivé means it has arrived in Paris.
Okay.
So that's where that comes from.
Very cool. So big celebration overseas, but it's kind of a big hit here too.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know what the consumption is, but they'll sell more of this than any one time any other wine in the world within this time frame.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. And so it's always the week. So Thanksgiving's on a Thursday.
Yep.
So it's a week before, the Friday before.
Yeah, it's going to be the third Thursday, however
Third Thursday.
that falls.
The
Yeah.
third Thursday. Okay.
I think this year it's the 21st.
Okay.
And Thanksgiving then is going to be the next week.
Gotcha. Now, where can people get this locally?
Almost all the dealers have it.
Okay.
So it's
Any of the local
yep,
stores?
it's brought in. Any of the distributors will have it, and any of the wine shops will have it.
And I'm assuming online you can get it somewhere if you want.
You probably can get it online. It's a little hard to get it shipped in sometimes online.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah, right. So this year we don't really know what the label is. Or
Well-
do you know yet?
Well, only because if you look on the invitation we have for our party, is that we did get the label.
You did get the label. Okay.
So-
Okay, very cool. And you said it kind of pairs good with like crackers and cheese and that kind of thing.
It goes well with cheese, and it goes with any kind of snack.
Okay.
And it's just really nice. It's a very, very relaxing wine. And like I said, it's kind of a blue collar wine. It's not really sophisticated, but it's just good. So
Yeah. And you're saying it's actually not expensive either.
yeah, I'm not sure what it's going to run, but somewhere between $12 and $16
Okay.
a bottle is what it's going to run.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Blue collar
Yeah.
prices. Okay. So people get this locally, and pairs go to Thanksgiving. I mean, makes sense to
Yep.
me, right?
Yep.
All right, Vern. Is there anything else you want to add?
Well, not unless you have something you want me to tell you about.
Oh gosh, I mean, I could probably sit here all day and listen to your history.
So, well, one of the things kind of interesting about it as a side is that during the same time we had the Civil War, which would be about 1865, in that same framework, there was a disease in Europe that killed almost all of the wines, or vines, not wines,
Vines, okay.
in Europe.
Okay.
And it's phylloxera. And the way they got around that, they discovered that the American wild grape root wasn't susceptible. So today, all of the vines in Europe are on American wild grape root stock.
Oh wow.
And they graft in the top then on it. So they put grafted in, so you get Chardonnay, or you can get Pinot Noir or Beaujolais.
Oh, okay. And I'm assuming there's a lot of vineyards
Yes.
there.
Yep.
It's kind of the country.
It's kind of like corn and wheat out here. And areas, they just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some are kind of small, and they still pick it by hand and go through that.
Yeah.
Others are very commercialized, and they have machines that do a lot of the work.
Very cool. All right. I feel like I don't want to miss anything. I'm trying to think of what else there is to know.
So, well, this year is supposed to be good. It's supposed to have a little more structure.
Okay.
And that's going to mean it's going to have just a little more, when it's in the mouth, is that you're going to get a few more flavors.
Yeah.
And
And like,
they're-
what's the flavor? Because I know, usually it's like sort of fruity.
Yep.
Kind of.
And I always tell people there's two kinds of flavors to begin with: fruit, fresh fruit, and dried fruit.
Oh, okay.
So this is going to be fresh fruit. So it's going to have more, probably a little raspberry, some strawberry that you can pull out of it. Anything that's kind of fresh, because that's what young wines do. Older wines that are stressed more intensely and are aged out will have more of the dry fruit to it.
So fresh.
Yeah.
Very fresh. So now if I buy this, and it's like a little twisty top guy.
Yep.
So if I buy this, and like, let's say we have it at Thanksgiving, then how long is it good in the fridge for?
Oh,
as far as...
4 or 5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not hard to drink, so you could probably drink
Yeah, you can
bottle.
drink it
You could
pretty
drink a
quick. Yeah,
bottle.
that's right.
Exactly.
And you can always get 2. And then
I mean,
have another
yeah.
one. That's right.
Share it with your friends, obviously. Give it as a gift.
Yep.
Also, that'd be a good one. All right.
Correct.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Okay,
much,
well,
Verne,
thank
for
you.
stopping
All
in
right.
today.
Good talking with you again.
You
All right.
too.
Okay, thank you.
All right, friends. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.